There is something strange happening around you right now. Not in front of your eyes. Not where everyone can see it. But behind closed doors, inside conversations you were never supposed to hear, inside minds that never expected you to become this strong. And if this message found you today, then listen carefully. Because what you are about to hear may explain why certain people suddenly changed their behavior toward you. Why some faces that once smiled at you now seem distant. Why opportunities appeared, and then disappeared. Why you felt resistance without understanding where it was coming from. Because sometimes the biggest battles in your life are not the ones happening in front of you. Sometimes the biggest battles are happening behind your back. And today, we're going to talk about that. Stay with me until the end. Because what happens in the next few minutes may completely change the way you see the people around you. You see, there are moments in life when a person begins to grow. They become stronger, wiser, more confident, more focused. And something unexpected happens. The moment that growth becomes visible. The moment people realize you're no longer the same person you used to be. The atmosphere changes. Not everyone celebrates your transformation. Not everyone claps when you rise. Not everyone smiles when your light becomes brighter. Some people become uncomfortable. Not because you hurt them. Not because you attacked them. But because your progress forces them to confront their own stagnation. And that's where silent conflict begins. The conflict no one talks about. The conflict that happens in whispers. In hidden opinions. In secret conversations. In private judgments. And perhaps, this is exactly what you've been feeling. Maybe you've sensed it. Maybe you couldn't explain it. Maybe your intuition kept telling you that something wasn't right. That certain energy around you felt different. That certain people weren't being completely honest. That something was happening beyond your view. And here's the shocking part. Many times, your intuition notices things long before your eyes do. Long before evidence appears. Long before truth reveals itself. Your spirit feels the shift. Your instincts hear the whispers. Your heart detects the tension. Before your mind can understand it. Think about that. How many times in your life did you feel something was wrong? And later discover you were right all along? How many times did you ignore that inner voice? Only to realize it was trying to protect you? Maybe that's happening again. Maybe there are conversations taking place that you know nothing about. Maybe there are opinions being shared that were never meant to reach your ears. Maybe there are people debating your worth. Your future. Your potential. Without realizing that none of them have the power to define who you truly are. Because here's the truth. No meeting. No group. No critic. No enemy. No hidden conversation. Can erase what was meant for you. And that realization changes everything. Imagine a tree. A strong tree. Growing taller every season. Now imagine people standing around it. Some admire it. Some are inspired by it. Some are grateful for its shade. But others stare at it with resentment. They wonder why it keeps growing. They wonder why storms never seem to destroy it. They wonder why it survives when other trees fall. And eventually, their attention becomes obsession. Not because of the tree, but because of what the tree represents. Strength, resilience, potential, possibility. And perhaps you have become that tree. Perhaps your growth has become impossible to ignore. Perhaps your determination has started making people uncomfortable. Perhaps your recovery has shocked people who expected you to remain broken. Because sometimes people become attached to an old version of you. A smaller version. A weaker version. A version they could control. A version they understood. But when you evolve, when you transform, when you step into a greater version of yourself, some people panic. Because they no longer know how to position themselves in relation to you. And that's when hidden conflicts begin. Not because you're wrong, but because you're changing. Let that sink in. The resistance you're feeling may not be proof that you're failing. It may be proof that you're growing. The criticism you're hearing may not be proof that you're weak. It may be proof that your presence has become impossible to ignore. The obstacles appearing before you may not be signs that you're losing. They may be signs that you're approaching something significant. Because every meaningful journey attracts opposition. Every valuable dream attracts resistance. Every powerful transformation creates discomfort. And history has shown this again and again. The people who changed their lives. The people who achieved greatness. The people who overcame impossible circumstances. Almost all of them faced invisible battles. Battles nobody else understood. Battles nobody else witnessed. Battles that happened behind the scenes. Yet they kept moving forward. And eventually, the truth became visible. The truth always becomes visible. Not immediately. Not overnight. But eventually. Because truth has a strange habit. It refuses to stay hidden forever. Masks fall. Intentions reveal themselves. Secrets surface. And clarity arrives. The question is, will you be ready when it does? Will you allow hidden negativity to distract you? Or will you continue focusing on your path? Because that's where your power lives. Not in controlling what others say. Not in chasing every rumor. Not in defending yourself against every whisper. Your power lives in your focus. Your discipline. Your purpose. Your ability to keep moving forward when others expect you to stop. And perhaps that's the message you needed today. Maybe you've spent too much energy worrying about what people think. Maybe you've spent too much energy trying to understand everyone's motives. Maybe you've spent too much energy looking backward. When your future is waiting ahead. Imagine how different your life could become. If you stopped giving hidden critics free space inside your mind. Imagine how much stronger you'd feel. If you stopped measuring your value through the opinions of people who don't truly know you. Imagine how much progress you'd make. If every ounce of energy spent worrying was redirected toward your goals. That is where transformation begins. Not when the world changes. But when you change. Not when everyone supports you. But when you support yourself. Not when the noise disappears. But when your focus becomes stronger than the noise. And here's something remarkable. The people secretly discussing you. The people questioning you. The people doubting you. May unknowingly be providing confirmation that you're moving in the right direction. Because people rarely discuss what doesn't matter. They rarely obsess over what isn't growing. They rarely resist what poses no challenge. Think about that. Your presence has created a reaction. Your growth has created a response. Your progress has generated attention. And while attention isn't always positive, it is often evidence that something important is happening. So don't shrink. Don't retreat. Don't become smaller to make others comfortable. Don't abandon your vision. Don't silence your ambition. Continue becoming who you're meant to become. Continue growing. Continue building. Continue believing. Because one day, the conversations happening behind your back will no longer matter. The opinions will fade. The whispers will disappear. The critics will move on. But the life you create, the character you build, the strength you develop, will remain. And that is what truly matters. So if you've been feeling pressure lately, if you've been sensing resistance, if you've been wondering why things feel different, consider this possibility. Maybe you're not being pushed backward. Maybe you're being pushed forward. Maybe what feels like opposition is actually preparation. Maybe what feels like conflict is actually confirmation. Maybe what feels like a setback is actually the beginning of a breakthrough. And if that's true, then your story is far from over. In fact, it may only be beginning. The next chapter could be bigger than anything you've imagined. The next season could reveal opportunities you never expected. The next breakthrough could arrive when you least anticipate it. So keep your eyes forward. Keep your faith strong. Keep your focus sharp. And remember, no conversation happening behind your back can determine your destiny. Only your actions can do that. Only your choices can do that. Only your perseverance can do that. And if you've made it this far, then perhaps you're stronger than you realize. Perhaps you're closer than you think. Perhaps the very thing you've been waiting for is already moving toward you. Quietly. Steadily. One step at a time. And when it finally arrives, you'll understand why every challenge, every doubt, every hidden battle was preparing you for that moment. So don't stop now. Your journey continues. And the best part of your story may still be ahead. And before you move on, there is one more thing you need to understand. Because the hidden conflict surrounding you is not always about hatred. Sometimes it's about fear. Fear that your success will expose someone's excuses. Fear that your confidence will reveal someone's insecurity. Fear that your courage will highlight someone else's hesitation. And fear can make people do strange things. It can make them pretend to support you while secretly hoping you fail. It can make them smile in front of you and question you when you're gone. It can make them spread doubt disguised as concern. It can make them criticize what they secretly wish they had the courage to become. This is why you must learn one of life's most powerful lessons. Not everyone who talks about you is against you. And not everyone who praises you is for you. People are complicated. Motives are complicated. Intentions are complicated. That is why wisdom is more valuable than popularity. Because wisdom allows you to see beyond appearances. Wisdom allows you to recognize patterns. Wisdom allows you to understand what others overlook. And right now, a pattern may be unfolding in your life. Look back over the last several months. Think carefully. Who became distant when you started improving? Who suddenly stopped encouraging you? Who seemed uncomfortable when good things happened to you? Who appeared supportive only when you were struggling? These questions matter. Not because you need to judge anyone, but because awareness protects you. Awareness prevents disappointment. Awareness helps you invest your energy wisely. You see, one of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming everyone deserves unlimited access to their dreams. But that's not true. Some people celebrate your vision. Others sabotage it. Some people water your growth. Others drain your energy. Some people help you become stronger. Others benefit from keeping you weak. And the sooner you recognize the difference, the sooner your life begins to change. Because success is not only about what you build. Success is also about what you protect. You must protect your peace. Protect your focus. Protect your confidence. Protect your purpose. Protect your future. Not everyone deserves access to every plan inside your heart. Sometimes silence is strength. Sometimes privacy is power. Sometimes the most intelligent move is to continue working quietly while others are busy discussing you. And that is exactly what many successful people do. While others are gossiping, they are building. While others are criticizing, they are learning. While others are doubting, they are improving. And eventually, the results speak louder than words ever could. That is why you must not become distracted by hidden conversations. The moment you become obsessed with what others are saying, you surrender your power. You hand over control. You allow people who contribute nothing to your future to influence your emotions. And that is far too expensive. Your attention is valuable. Your energy is valuable. Your time is valuable. Don't spend those treasures chasing approval from people who have already decided not to understand you. Instead, invest that energy into becoming unstoppable. Because something fascinating happens when a person commits fully to their growth. The noise begins to lose its power. The criticism begins to lose its impact. The negativity begins to lose its influence. And eventually, the very people who doubted them are forced to witness their progress. Imagine that moment. Imagine looking back 1 year from now. Imagine realizing that the obstacles which once seemed enormous have become insignificant. Imagine discovering that the opinions which once hurt you no longer matter. Imagine standing stronger, wiser, more successful, more confident than ever before. That future is possible. But only if you refuse to become trapped in today's distractions. And there is another reason hidden conflicts happen. A reason most people never consider. Sometimes people sense your potential before you do. Read that again. Sometimes people recognize your future before you recognize it yourself. They see something developing inside you. A strength. A talent. A determination. A presence. And even if they cannot explain it, they react to it. That reaction may appear as resistance. It may appear as criticism. It may appear as jealousy. But beneath it all, there is often recognition. Recognition that you are becoming something greater than expected. Recognition that you are evolving beyond old limitations. Recognition that your story is changing. And change makes people uncomfortable. Especially people who expected you to remain the same forever. Think about a caterpillar becoming a butterfly. The transformation is beautiful. But imagine how strange it must look from the outside. One day something familiar exists. The next day something completely different emerges. Many people are comfortable with the caterpillar. Not everyone is comfortable with the butterfly. And perhaps that is happening in your life right now. Perhaps some people are struggling to adjust to who you're becoming. Perhaps they preferred the old version of you. Perhaps they felt safer when you doubted yourself. Perhaps they felt more comfortable when you played small. But those days are ending. You are changing. You are growing. You are expanding. And growth cannot be reversed simply because it makes someone uncomfortable. The seed cannot return to being a seed. The sunrise cannot return to being night. Progress cannot return to being potential. Once transformation begins, it demands continuation. And that brings us to the most important realization of all. The battle happening behind your back is not the battle that will determine your future. The battle happening inside your mind will. Because external resistance only becomes dangerous when it creates internal doubt. External criticism only becomes powerful when you start believing it. External negativity only succeeds when it convinces you to stop moving forward. So ask yourself something. Have you been doubting yourself lately? Have you been questioning your path? Have you been second-guessing your potential? Have you been allowing the opinions of others to become louder than your own inner voice? If so, today is the day that changes. Today is the day you remember who you are. Not who critics say you are. Not who doubters say you are. Not who fear says you are. But who you truly are. A person capable of growth. A person capable of resilience. A person capable of transformation. A person capable of overcoming obstacles. A person capable of creating a future greater than their past. And once you remember that, everything begins to shift. Because confidence returns. Clarity returns. Momentum returns. Purpose returns. And when purpose returns, nothing can stop a determined individual. Not rumors. Not criticism. Not jealousy. Not hidden conversations. Not secret opposition. Nothing. The road ahead may still contain challenges. But challenges are not signs of defeat. They are signs of movement. Signs of growth. Signs of progress. Signs that your story is still unfolding. So continue walking forward. Continue trusting the process. Continue investing in yourself. Continue becoming stronger. Because the truth is slowly revealing itself. The masks are slowly slipping. The confusion is slowly clearing. And sooner than you expect. Everything that seemed mysterious will begin to make sense. You will understand why certain people disappeared. You will understand why certain doors closed. You will understand why certain relationships changed. You will understand why certain obstacles appeared. And when that understanding arrives, you won't feel bitterness. You won't feel regret. You won't feel anger. You will feel gratitude. Because you will realize that every challenge taught you something valuable. Every obstacle strengthened you. Every disappointment redirected you. Every hidden conflict prepared you. Prepared you for a version of yourself that is stronger than ever before. And the most incredible part? That version of you is already beginning to emerge. Right now. In this moment. Whether you realize it or not. The transformation has already begun. And no hidden battle. No secret conversation. No unseen resistance. Can stop what is already becoming reality. Now listen carefully. Because what comes next may be the most important part of this entire message. Up until now, we've talked about the conflict. The whispers. The hidden opinions. The unseen resistance. But there is another side to this story. A side very few people ever notice. While certain individuals may be focused on discussing you, something else is happening at the same time. Your future is quietly being built. Opportunities are moving. Doors are shifting. Circumstances are rearranging themselves. And most people miss this because they become obsessed with the noise. They become so focused on who is against them that they stop noticing who is for them. Don't make that mistake. Because even in seasons of opposition, there are people rooting for you. People believing in you. People respecting your determination. People admiring your strength. You may not hear them. You may not see them. But they exist. The world is never as one-sided as fear wants you to believe. For every critic, there is a supporter. For every doubter, there is a believer. For every person hoping you fail, there is another hoping you succeed. And the beautiful thing is this. You do not need everyone. You only need the right people. Think about that. One genuine supporter is more valuable than 100 fake admirers. One honest friend is more valuable than a crowd of pretenders. One person who truly believes in your potential can change the direction of your life. That is why you must never become discouraged by temporary opposition. Because opposition often hides opportunity. Many people never realize this. Some of the greatest turning points in life begin with discomfort. They begin with confusion. They begin with rejection. They begin with unexpected conflict. And at first, those moments feel unfair. At first, those moments feel painful. At first, Those moments feel like setbacks. But later, you discover they were actually redirections. The closed door redirected you. The failed plan redirected you. The disappointing situation redirected you. The person who walked away redirected you. And suddenly, what once looked like a loss becomes a blessing in disguise. Perhaps that is happening right now. Perhaps life is moving pieces around that you cannot yet understand. Perhaps events that seem negative today are preparing something positive tomorrow. Perhaps the confusion is temporary. Perhaps the delay has a purpose. Perhaps the challenge has meaning. And if that's true, then your current circumstances are not the end of the story. They are simply one chapter. One chapter among many. Don't confuse a chapter with the entire book. A difficult season does not define your destiny. A painful experience does not define your future. A hidden battle does not define your worth. Your story is bigger than this moment. Much bigger. And here's something fascinating. The people who spend their time attacking others often neglect their own growth. While they focus on your journey, they ignore theirs. While they watch your progress, they neglect their own progress. While they analyze your choices, they avoid examining their own choices. That is why you must never become like them. Never allow bitterness to consume you. Never allow resentment to guide you. Never allow negativity to become your identity. Stay focused on becoming better. Not bitter. Stronger. Not harder. Wiser. Not angrier. Because your greatest victory is not proving others wrong. Your greatest victory is building a life so meaningful that their opinions become irrelevant. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that the people who once occupied your thoughts no longer affect you. Imagine reaching a level of peace where criticism no longer controls your emotions. Imagine becoming so focused on your purpose that distractions lose their power. That is freedom. Real freedom. And that freedom is available to you. But only if you choose it. Only if you decide that your future matters more than your frustrations. Only if you decide that your goals matter more than gossip. Only if you decide that your growth matters more than the opinions of strangers. The choice is yours. Every single day. You can feed fear. Or feed faith. You can feed doubt. Or feed determination. You can feed anger. Or feed ambition. Whatever you feed grows. And right now, you have the opportunity to grow something extraordinary. A stronger mindset. A stronger character. A stronger future. A stronger version of yourself. The kind of version that no longer needs validation. The kind of version that no longer fears criticism. The kind of version that understands a powerful truth. The truth that other people's opinions are temporary. But your character is permanent. Other people's judgments are temporary. But your actions create lasting results. Other people's words are temporary. But your choices shape your destiny. And this realization changes everything. Because once you stop chasing approval, you start creating impact. Once you stop fearing criticism, you start pursuing excellence. Once you stop looking sideways, you start moving forward. Faster. Stronger. More confidently than ever before. And perhaps that's exactly where you're headed. Perhaps all of this is preparing you for a breakthrough. Not a small breakthrough. A significant one. A breakthrough in confidence. A breakthrough in purpose. A breakthrough in opportunity. A breakthrough in perspective. The kind of breakthrough that makes you look back and say, "Now I understand. Now I see why things happened the way they did. Now I see why certain people left. Now I see why certain battles occurred. Now I see why I had to become stronger." Because strength is rarely built in comfort. Strength is built through challenge. Wisdom is built through experience. Confidence is built through perseverance. And you have already survived more than you realize. Look at yourself. You're still here. Still moving forward. Still learning. Still growing. Still fighting for a better future. That matters. More than you know. So the next time you feel discouraged, remember this moment. Remember these words. Remember that hidden conflicts do not determine your destiny. Remember that opposition does not define your future. Remember that criticism does not diminish your value. Remember that setbacks do not erase your potential. And most importantly, remember that your story is still being written. The final chapter has not been revealed. The greatest victory has not yet arrived. The most meaningful opportunity may still be ahead. The most powerful version of you may still be emerging. So walk forward with confidence. Walk forward with courage. Walk forward with purpose. Let others talk if they choose to. Let others doubt if they choose to. Let others underestimate you if they choose to. Their choices belong to them. Your future belongs to you. And every day you continue moving forward. Every day you continue believing. Every day you continue growing. You become living proof that hidden battles cannot stop a determined soul. The whispers will fade. The noise will fade. The doubts will fade. But the life you build, the strength you develop, and the person you become will remain forever. So keep going. Keep growing. Keep believing. Because the best chapter of your story may be much closer than you think.